Hello. So, did I move this? Maybe. So, last time I did a video, I spoke about how I became a gardener, how I got into horticulture, yeah, and how that's impacted my life so far. Did I possibly go into that? Maybe I didn't. Maybe that could be next time. So today I'd like to talk about why you should go into horticulture, what are the perks, why would you ever do what I tell you to do, because I'm not telling you, I'm just saying maybe and mentioning that it might be a possibility instead of scratching it off the record completely before you even think about it. So why is gardening such a good career choice for someone who's younger or switching jobs, or you can be any age to be a gardener? Don't give me all of this, you have to be retired thing. And yet it can be a very viable career option. So number one, the most important thing is that gardening is, not just gardening, horticulture is one, like, it has so many varied jobs. You could be anything. I've done a little list of just ones I could type down, and I timed myself and I just typed out like a few 10, 11 in like literally 30 seconds. I wrote garden maintenance, garden design, like an estate gardener, head gardener for a private garden or for a garden that's open to the public, horticultural therapist, a teacher for horticulture, etc., a groundsman, arborist, a botanist, a garden historian. I put floristry in there, a florist, a grower of fruit or veg, a general labourer. Those are just the 30 seconds ones. I mean, the list honestly goes on. You can be anything, and you can work for so many different places and people, and you can change that up when you want and when you like, because it gives you that freedom to do so, because plants go everywhere and it's not limited to just one place. With horticulture, you're definitely choosing to follow a passion rather than to follow your job, and you're definitely looking at more money than you think, but not as much money as if you were to follow a job. But you get so much more life satisfaction and fulfillment and enjoyment and a quality of life out of horticulture that you might not necessarily get out of working in an office or that, and there's no office politics or any of these horrible things that you would have to go through. So I'd say self-employed, or like being a garden assistant, or as you're starting out, you're looking at like 16, 18, tops like 20k for like the first couple of years, which is actually like a quite nice salary, especially if you're sort of younger and just starting out and you might not have bills yet. That's definitely something to look at, and whilst you study as well. And for self-employment, I definitely rack that up to like 24k, 26 in your first couple of years. So you go in quite strong. It does cap, like if you become like a head gardener, you might be looking at staying at like a set salary for a while, but that's in a couple of years, and I definitely think the money is something to go after. That's definitely obviously a huge part of anyone's career. That's why we have it. That's mainly why we have it. That's what gives you some motivation to get up and go in the morning. There are a lot of problems at the moment in horticulture with money, but generally on the whole it's pretty good. Definitely not scratch horticulture, because you might have heard rumours about salaries. I would not scratch it off, but we do have parts to work on, but I would not choose not to go into horticulture just because you think the salaries might be bad. Another good reason is that it gives you such a varied workload. So I just studied horticulture. I can lay bricks, I can lay a patio, I can plant plants, I can do a bit of garden design, I can trim a hedge, I can trim a small tree, I can plant fruit and veg, I can tell you the science behind why it grows. All of that in just 1 year is what I was taught, and that is extremely valuable. I feel like a very well-rounded person. I feel like I can achieve a lot of things. You have to be quite a practical person and adapt to different situations and be very knowledgeable about how something works and why it works. I'd say it's definitely one of the most well-rounded jobs that gives you, and you never get set in a monotonous task, like not even year by year, because the weather changes so much. So in the beginning, I would look at just choosing as many and learning as many different things that you can, and then specialising later on. If you go into horticulture, you are not short of like happy people. People will obviously stressed because sometimes it might snow and we don't want it to, or sometimes it might not rain for an entire month, but you just get used to things like that, and you will never meet a group of people that are happier or like more self-aware or They will never turn you down. If you ever have a question for a horticulturalist, they will never turn you down. People are just out to help. We really are. You can see someone struggling and you just help straight away. And that's how you learn gardening as well, is you go through different people and you learn these different things, and people share their knowledge and they're not shy of sharing either, because lots of things are hard to learn and you feel like you've earned it, but then you want to share it and you want to help everybody and you want these plants to grow, because it's about the garden itself, it's not about you. That's what I found anyway. Whilst choosing horticulture, you're also choosing to sort of keep the earth alive, which might seem quite trivial, but no, it's definitely not. Keeping the earth alive and keeping things green, definitely keeping the countryside as countryside-y as it can be, and bringing green into cities, because I hear a lot of people say like, oh, I've come back to Sussex or like a slightly more suburban rather than city area, and how green it is. That should not be the case. That should absolutely not be the case. We should have green everywhere. I don't know if you've seen pictures of like Singapore. That's definitely goals. Like that is one of like the most amazing places. We need to have city parks that don't just begin and end at an actual park. Like you should be filled with like greenery. Car parks should be green, not grey. As a horticulturist, you'll be part of that sort of life motto, that the greener the better, which I think is really, really important and very much overlooked. They say that being outside is like therapy. You have to be quite careful about what you say there, because obviously that is like, it's a hard thing to define. I'd say being outside definitely makes me feel better than being inside all day, but obviously that varies for different people. But gardening as a therapy is definitely a good thing. So being in touch with the earth, with the soil, and connecting with nature, being one with grass. I'm joking, but I'm also not joking, like definitely interacting with, why do I keep saying definitely? Because I'm so sure that horticulture is more important than this. Just to look at a flower and appreciate a flower for being itself, and not wanting to take a photo of it and just put it on Instagram and appreciate the likes. You want to appreciate the flower itself, because that's what gives you oxygen to breathe. Not the flower, the leaves, the trees. But we need more of that, and we need that big time. Horticulture definitely makes me more self-aware and excited for the future, and you learn so many different things, meet so many different people, and you can change your career consistently throughout your life, and people don't question it. You don't have to do a 2-year stint to be able to leave your job, and you can we see it more as like gaining experience and knowledge and more of a varied workload throughout your life. And the more jobs you have, obviously don't be like too flighty, like not every 3-4 months, but the more experience and knowledge you have of these different areas and different lights makes you a much more well-rounded horticulturalist. It means you have experience, dedication, time to learn. So you are so varied that you feel like you don't have the same career throughout your life. It feels like you've definitely gone through a lot more careers and you've met a lot more people, and once again you don't have the office politics and the things that bring you down, and because you're not sat with the same people all the time or interacting with teams talking numbers all the time, you're talking, well, you do, but like you're talking like the future of the earth. It's just so exciting as long as it goes right. Anyway, that is why I think you should start a career in gardening. You just should. And if you're not sure how, just message me and I will help you. I will honestly help anyone that messages me interested in a career in gardening, or even just learning what I do day to day. I might even do like a day-to-day vlog just so you can see like what my days are like, and if that interests you. And the fact I get lunch at home and I get to do what I want. I was about to say I get to do what I want when I want, but I really don't. But you definitely have a lot more flexibility, and you have a lot more time for like yourself, for self-growth and how you see your future like happening. So I can pick anything I want right now and I can specialize in it, and I could then change my mind up the line. But like I have no cap on how much I grow and how much my own motivation, important, will keep me carry me through and keep me going and help me get higher and higher and further into my career. And there's no one saying you can't do that, not yet. It's just me, it's my limits and how much I can do. So if if you're interested in a career with what I've just said, no limits and endless possibilities, I'm just full of promises today, then definitely look into vocational skills. Okay, so that's all. As I said in my last video, go to an open day for a vocational skills college. Cuddy? Is that a word? What does that mean? Maybe I've just been talking for so long that words have just merged. Anyway, definitely go to a vocational skills college and go to one of their open days and just see what it's like, because you often get to interact and do cool things there anyway, so it's a day out by itself at least. Anyway, that's all from me. And I will be back next time with something else, something exciting, just as exciting as it's been today.